Welcome back to Off the Beaten Path. This is kind of a nice surprise that we have. These are called Salavatski pomegranate, and it just seems so weird being in Pennsylvania, but they do quite well. And what I've realized after not pruning it for years and years and years is you're really not going to get much fruit from it unless you prune it and prune it hard. So I pruned just the one side of the bush basically, and it's yielded, I'd say probably 18 to 20 pomegranates. It's the Salavatski pomegranate. This was actually a neat one that had like 3. And what's kind of cool about these is they're a little bit sweeter than the so-called wonderful variety. The reason that they're probably not as popular is because they're kind of ugly. They kind of keep that greenish pink skin, so it's not as pretty looking as the wonderful variety, but it's much sweeter, softer arils, which are they're more palatable, so you can actually eat the seeds without really having a tough time with them if you like that. This fig tree I had last year, I mentioned about it being called Threefold Farms Variegated, which was a Tacoma Violet, Mount Etna type fig that just had a sport, just variegated a branch. And so I propagated the branch a few different times, different pieces of it, and there's varying variegation on it, where some of the leaves are just snow cloud white, some of them kind of look like airbrushed. Some of the figs themselves are actually white, which I think is kind of weird. The flavor obviously is a Tacoma Violet, but there's one that's starting to ripen. They typically have more of a purple and pink kind of coloration when they're dead ripe, kind of reminiscent of like a Martinique Ramada or BNR. Some of these do revert back, so it's really kind of hard to stabilize them, but I find it kind of fascinating, just all the different variations of variegation, I guess you could say, including the fruit itself. We started some more from cuttings, and it grows moderately well, I could say, in the ground. I think it's exciting for the northern grower, just because to be able to have a nice variegated fig that you could possibly put in the ground. Here's a couple other ones, and they, like I said, they change from different colors. Some of them lose variegation in the leaves but retain it in the wood, which I think is pretty neat. Some of them, you can kind of see, some of them have lost all but the variegation of the fruit, which I still think is fine. This is another example of how almost bleached it looks, and it's in full sun, so while they do kind of burn a little bit, they must have enough chlorophyll, or at least enough chlorophyll that the leaves remain. And then we've been growing a bunch of different trees from that one original cutting, and what I'm hoping to have in the spring is to be able to sell these trees, which I think are kind of really neat, especially for the northern grower. Thank you for watching.